Welcome, everyone. We have a very exciting show for you today. We are going to cover the 3 phases of entrepreneurship. My name is Giuseppe Grammatico, host of the Franchise Freedom Podcast, and I wanted to introduce our guests and my good friends.
Thanks. Glad to be here. This is Henry Lopez, and I'm the host of the How a Business podcast and an entrepreneur.
Hey, I'm David Barnett, and I've been talking about buying and selling small and medium-sized businesses now for over 11 years on YouTube. I've got a bunch of books that I've written, and I work with people every day, helping them to analyze deals and hopefully avoiding mistakes.
Rocky Lalvani, host of the Profit Answer Man podcast. We work with 7 and 8 figure business owners, helping them to scale and grow their profit and cash flow.
Awesome. So for today, just to break down, what the show is going to look like, we're going to talk about the 3 phases of entrepreneurship. Each phase will have 3 separate topics. First phase is going to be finding a business. We're going to start in the beginning of that entrepreneurial journey. We're going to follow that by cash flow management and coaching strategies, businesses up and running. How do you manage all that? And then finally, what's the goal? That's topic number 3, and that's selling your business. How do I go about selling this asset, this business that maybe I have grown over the last few years or decades? What does that exit strategy planning look like? Exciting to cover that today, and we welcome all your questions. Leave comments. We'll make sure to follow up on all those questions, and all our contact information will be in the show notes. So we start off with the first phase, and I'll start things off with finding a business, right? Before we even dive into exit strategy and coaching and all that great stuff, we have to find the business. The big thing here is, what is one thing you think about when looking for a business? Should you build a business from scratch? Should you buy an existing business or a resale, or look into franchising? David, if you wanted to kick things off there with, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think the first place you need to open a business is between your ears, because it's all about self-image. And, people will ask me for advice about buying a business because that's what I talk about on YouTube and stuff. They'll get very hung up on this idea that they need to find this, business that checks all the boxes for them, and they have to, make sure that they are doing a deal correctly, which is all absolutely true. But one of the things that I find people struggle with is just their own self-image and understanding that they are becoming a business person. And business people, I think, are just open to opportunity, and they see the world in a little bit different way than a lot of other people who punch the clock every day at work. And so when I work with people that want to be in business, and they'll maybe get frustrated that they don't find a business that they want to buy right away, or they don't find something that they want to start right away, I will encourage them just to flip that switch in their head and become a business person. Because once you start to see yourself that way and you start to look at things a little bit differently, you'll just see opportunities coming at you from all angles. I often struggle with tuning out all the ideas and observations that I see in the everyday life of things that could be better executed, better done. It always surprises me when people say to me that they just can't figure out what kind of business to get into.
Just expand on that and David's point about becoming a business owner. One of the things that helped me, a partner of mine said, if you're thinking about starting a business, try as best you can to imagine that you already own the business, and what would a day in the life look like? What would it feel like? What is the impact? What are the sacrifices that you're going to have to make it easy? If it's a restaurant, what does that mean? I'm going to be there Saturday and Sundays. Or if it's an HVAC service business, what does that mean? Am I okay with getting into the attic? All of those kind of things. Imagine that you're in that business, and is that something that fits you? But going back to the question you initially posed, Giuseppe, about buy versus build, I've done both. And when people ask me which one should I do, one of the things I think people should consider, is this your first business? Is this your first foray into business ownership? If so, then I want you to think about really heavily considering buying an existing or doing a franchise, because there is a lot more there that you're going to leverage that's already in place versus you having to create it from scratch. Now, that could include a business location that you open from scratch, but you've got the hand-holding of a franchisor there.
So you've decided on a path: build, buy, or franchise. But can you actually afford it? In the next segment, Rocky drops a financial reality check that catches most aspiring entrepreneurs completely off guard, and David reveals the dangerous duct tape deal trap that puts people in financial ruin.